Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jessica of Jessica-esque, and I'm here to do a reading challenge check-in. So now we can move on to the Booktube related Storygraph challenges. The first one being Buzzword Reading Challenge 2025 by Books and Lala. This one has 5,645 participants, which is a lot. I am 58% complete through this one. And a few of these are honestly like stumping me quite a bit. I've earmarked for the first prompt, which is Truth and Lies, I've earmarked Slippery Beast. So basically, I'm just kind of looking through my nonfiction tags to see if any of them have the true story of or whatever. And this book is all about eels, which I think is a really cool thing to read about. So I don't know if that's the one I'll actually read, but kind of tempted now. For water related words, water moon has been put into the second prompt. For thing, which is the third prompt, I put a book I DNF'd actually, something fresh. And for four, which is animals, I added all creatures, great and small. Not only are there animals on the cover, but the word creatures is in there. For the fifth one, the word to, T-O, and to, T-O-O. So right now I've earmarked A Perfect Day to Be Alone. That I have checked out as an audiobook on Libby. This one is really messing with me. Number 11 is the word never. And it's not to say that there are not enough books in the world with the word never. I'm just having like a total brain blockage of what I want to read for that one. So if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. And I have already read Never Let Me Go. And then the last one is titles featuring alliteration. Titles that feature two or more words that begin with the same sound. So I did Lady Chatterley's Lover for that one. And the next Booktube related challenge that I am working through is the Savidge Prompts 2025 on Storygraph. This is by Miss Vix Reads. And okay, this year's Fabulous Monthly Savidge Prompts from the Bookishly Marvelous Simon and Louise Savidge. That's who they are on YouTube. So I'm 42% of the way through these prompts. So they've done them by month, which is not how I'm doing them, but the first prompt is a book with twins as the main character. Julie Chan is Dead is what I have earmarked for this. I have a copy of it from the library, and I also have the audiobook on hold. For the second prompt, a book with a body of water in the title, Sea of Tranquility. I mean, it's right there. So that one's done. Third prompt is a book with a kitchen utensil on the cover or in the title. I've got Crying in H Mart earmarked here. A book with a sound in the title. There is an anthology called Never Whistle at Night, and I have previously checked it out but had to let it go back. So I'm hoping to maybe in the fall, maybe it doesn't matter what time of the year I read it, but I'd like to read through that anthology. For the fifth prompt, this I honestly just picked because it was already sitting in here, but it's a book by your favorite author's favorite author, and the book is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. I just picked it because it was right there, and I had read it, and I loved it. The sixth prompt is a book set in a hotel or a motel. So I have earmarked A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. I read Howard's End, I think in February of this year. So I'm very interested in reading some more E.M. Forster. I'm not sure, like not totally committed to A Room with a View right away. But you know, I've got several more months until I have to actually read it. So I'm pretty tempted with that one. The seventh prompt is a book with dual timelines. Without giving anything away, hopefully, I picked Water Moon. Let's move on. The eighth prompt is a book which fictionalizes the life of a famous historical figure. So I have picked Joan by Catherine J. Chen. And this one I hadn't really heard of before, but I looked through the prompts or the suggested books that were already sitting here, and it just looks fascinating. So I have picked that one, earmarked that one. We'll see what I end up doing. The ninth prompt is a book with a light source on the cover. So here we are, a very secret society of regular witches has the moon and some stars on the cover. For number 10, the book that has sat on your shelf the longest, I am thinking of adding in that Great Gatsby, that F. Scott Fitzgerald's Beautiful and the Damned, because I have legitimately had it on my shelf for the longest, I think. But I just haven't done that yet. The 11th book, a book centered around a secret, The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida, has quite a few secrets, quite a few big secrets. So, the 12th is a book with your favorite animal on the cover. I have to double check. There is a new Ali Smith book that I think has just come out called Glyph, and like Gliff. And I think it might be the haunches of a horse, but it also might be a dog. So I'm gonna double check that before I add it. Oh, well, no, I'm not. I'm overwhelmed by this prompt, and I thought I had figured it out. But moving on to the bonuses, a book that is the start of a series, Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. Would love to read this book, and I feel like this is the year it's going to happen. And then ignore everything that I was just saying about the 12th prompt, because the 14th prompt, which is a bonus, is a book with a one-word title, and I picked Ali Smith's Glyph. Okay, we've reached the end. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this. The last Storygraph challenge that I have joined is the 2025 Diversity Book Bingo. This is by Ellen Made Book Club. There's 76 participants on this one, and I am 45% of the way through. There's 33 prompts, which is intimidating, but I mean, I'm into it. So the first one is New to You Country, Author and Setting. So I've earmarked We Will Be Jaguars. We do have a copy of this at the library, so maybe this could be the white cover for my physical TBR. It is all about anti-colonization though, so maybe that's a faux pas. For Island, read a book set on and by an author from an island. Japan is an island, so Water Moon has been picked there. A translated work of fiction or nonfiction. The Dollar Gut Dream Department Store is a translation. I did start this book, but I had to let it go back before I was done, so I have it back on hold, and I've got it. I thought I had it for another prompt, but we've looked through them all, so maybe not. The fourth prompt is Laughter, book that made you laugh, and I picked The Mating Season. It's, I think, one of the funniest Jeeves and Wooster books, and that's tough to discern and pick, but one of the funniest ones for sure. Future Empowerment, there's 17 books added to this one. I think I'm going to look through them again. I'm just not totally sure what I want to pick for that. I don't have anything earmarked yet, so let's move on. The sixth prompt is a 5-star read. This was hard because I have had a lot of 5-star reads this year. And I picked Private Rights by Julie Armfield. I think this might have been the first 5-star book of the year. Comfort read, number 7, I picked, again, Agatha Christie's The Mysterious Affair at Styles. Very comforting read. Death, but meh, whatever. Favorite author, love Virginia Woolf, as I mentioned earlier. I read Mrs. Dalloway with my book club this year. Ninth is a memoir or biography. So I picked The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. And then nonfiction could be anything. I picked Yoke by Jessamine Stanley. Right now for the 2025 new release, I've earmarked Is a River Alive by Robert Macfarlane. Short story or collection, I haven't earmarked anything here yet, but I do have, when I was looking through my Libby tags last week, I was looking specifically for like shorter audiobooks, and I noticed that a few of them that I had tagged as fiction were actually short story collections. So I think I'll pick one of those at some point. 13 and 14, I haven't earmarked anything yet. There's a genre out of your comfort zone and feminist. I just haven't had a chance to earmark them yet. Number 15 is animals. So I used All Creatures Great and Small. For mental health, I put Conversations with Friends because it's not explicitly, that's not true. At one point, someone does suggest that a character goes to therapy. And I think another character references in passing their therapist. But there's a lot of action and behavior in this book that indicates a maybe deteriorating mental health state for one of the characters. For number 17, migration, read a book that deals with human migration in some way. So I don't have anything earmarked here yet. For number 18, it's secondhand, library, or backlist. Read a book that is not a new purchase. So I've earmarked Rebel Folklore, which is a book that I have on interlibrary loan from another library. And it's a really cool book. Very pretty, very well illustrated. Number 19, something that I've read for another reading event or prompt from someone else's list. So I slotted in The Three of Us, which, as I mentioned, I read for that Goodreads challenge. And then number 20 is recommended. Don't have anything earmarked yet. Number 21, book and adaptation. So part of why I read D.H. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley's Lover is because I'm really stoked to, at some point, watch the Netflix movie adaptation with Jack O'Connell and Emma Corrin, I believe. Prize winner. I definitely could put in the Seven Moons of Mali Almeida for this, but I have a feeling I've already used it. We'll find out. Number 23 is Indigenous people. So I slotted in A Grandmother Begins the Story. And then the next few, I don't have anything earmarked yet. As you can see, there's like 55 added, 88 added, 25 added. So I want to go through, same with neurodivergence. Yeah, there's a few here that I just want to go through the books that have already been suggested or selected to see if I get any inspiration from those. So there's minority, LGBTQIA+, disability, and neurodivergence. And then we move into like location based. So North America, I'm thinking that I would maybe read something Canadian or maybe like Mexican. For South America, I picked Isabel Allende's A Long Petal of the Sea. Europe, I want to pick something out for. Africa, I want to read Alexandra Fuller's latest memoir, even though it's going to be gut-wrenching. And I actually don't know if this is suitable. She is originally from Zimbabwe, but I have a feeling that the part of her life that she's writing about in this memoir, she subsequently moved out of Africa. So I don't know if this is actually what I'll end up reading for this, but I just really want to read Fee. Here it is, The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida. So I picked that for Asia, and then Australia/Oceania, I picked Wild Dark Shore. Thank you so much for joining me on this true odyssey of what it is that I have read so far this year and what it is that I hope to read to fulfill some of these Goodreads and Storygraph challenges. If you have your own challenge on Storygraph, please let me know. I'd love to check it out. I'll probably be tempted to join it, but hey, why not? And it's really inspiring me to read and to be quite mindful of, you know, what it is I'm reading, where the books that I'm reading have maybe originated from. And I'm just really, you know, enjoying the journey of not just reading, but of getting more invested into Booktube again and Storygraph as well. So thank you so much for being here. Took us a while to get through, but I hope you had some fun. I'll talk to you later. Bye.